Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of LunarKitten TV. Thank you for joining me today. I am excited because today I think we're going to dive into some spell candles. So, usually throughout my videos, you've seen a couple of times where we're doing a spell and also indirectly making a spell candle, or I'm going to use a tea light and there's already stuff in it, and I told you that I've made spell candles previously. So I got a couple of questions and I figured we'd do like a little tutorial on how to make them. You can literally make a spell candle for anything at all. But I think today we're going to be focusing on, attracting some self-love and positivity and just taking care of yourself, kind of love. So that's what we're going to do today. You really don't need much, and here's what you'll need. All right, let's get started. So first you're going to need some tea lights. Any tea lights will do as long as they are unscented. I got these at my local Dollar Tree, so I totally got $1 worth of candles. Going on to herbs, you know how much I love lavender, and definitely going to use some rose. Can't do any kind of love magic without rose. You can buy them as a tea too. Also, I'm going to be using some Hibiscus and Orris Root. You'll see the two black packages that I'm going to use, and they're from conjuringsofawitch.com. It's because these are kind of really hard to find in your local supermarket, and I love these people. Okay, and lastly, some chickweed. Again, I found these online. If I can find the link to the store, I'll definitely post it below. So, first of everything, you guys know I love to smudge, so we're going to go ahead and smudge absolutely everything before we get started. Really set the mood for what you're about to do. While this is super fun, totally DIY, it's also really important that we clear space and set intention for what we're about to do. Being that we're going to be working with our hands, I'm going to go ahead and give my hands a smudge too, just so that way everything's super clean before we start. Right? And you know me, putting it in the cauldron so that way we can have that wonderful white sage smell through everything that we're doing. I'm also going to light a candle. I prefer to have a candle going while I do any kind of magic, but that's just a personal preference. You don't have to light a candle. Okay, now that all of that's set up, we can start this awesome, fun DIY. Yay! Okay, so I'm going to take out 2 candles. You can literally do any amount that you want, but I'm personally just going to do 2 for now. 1 for me, and I'm going to give 1 to a friend. Okay, you can definitely use the lighter. It's super easy to use the lighter, but if you can, I would go ahead and use a flame that's already been lit. I'm gonna struggle here a little bit, I guess. Just a little bit. I think I might have gotten some wax on it, but that'll come off real easy. There we go. Yep, this one was an easier light. Fantastic. If you can see smoke, nothing is on fire, I promise. It's just the sage in the back. We're gonna wait for these to get a little bit of that wax melted in the middle so that way it's easier for our dried herbs to set and to stay. So while we have those going, we're going to work on our herbs. Remember, we're just waiting a little bit for that wax to loosen up. All right, now for the herbs, because I have some whole herbs, I'm going to use my pestle and mortar. You can definitely use your hands, certainly use a grinder if you've got it, but I prefer to use the pestle and mortar. It's just a bit of a gentler grind. I don't want to really crush up all that lavender. Yay, and now some more saging. We're going to sage all of our ingredients. Just pass them over the smoke. Like I said, I'm using whole rosebuds, so it's going to take just a little bit of hand or elbow grease, I suppose, to get those grinded up properly. And some lavender, pass that through the sage. I personally put a little bit extra of the lavender because I really love how it smells. And lavender is probably one of my favorite flowers. Okay. Now for the chickweed. Again, if you can't find chickweed, I'll try and find that link to where I found all my herbs, a really awesome space where they have all the correspondences listed out, packaged out for you already. So make sure you check the description below for those links. Really sit with them while you're going and putting these ingredients into the mortar through every step. Now for the orris root. Orris root is really popular for love magic, and again, if you can't find it, conjuringsofawitch.com. They've got everything super affordable and very high quality ingredients. I swear by them for anything that I can't find. Awesome. It's a little powder, so you can't really hold it over to smudge, and just be careful when you're putting some in. You don't want to use too much and overpower all of those sweet smelling flowers you got going on in there. And lastly, hibiscus, another very popular flower for love magic. I had already smudged these earlier, so I completely forgot to do it with that one. But we've got the sage going through the whole thing, so we should be fine. I'm going to go ahead and grind these out now. Now, again, like I said, I don't want to do it too hard because we don't want to squash all that lovely lavender. It is a very delicate flower, but just enough to get those petals separated from the rose, the center of the rosebud, and to break up those really delicate flowers petals, so that way you can have a nice little fine grind to this. Now, because I used the whole rosebuds, you'll see that I've got these little bulbs in the middle that was holding it together. I'm just gonna pick those out, or pick out as much as I can right now before we start. Also, be sure to keep an eye on your candles to make sure they're not getting like too burnt out. You don't want to. You just want to burn out a little bit of that wax in the middle. All right, look at that. Wonderful. I really wish you could see this better. I'll go ahead and pour some out into my hand later so you can see. But I wish you could smell it. It smells so good. Lovely. Look at that. Look how pretty. It's beautiful. If you find that things are still too big, you can go ahead and put it back in your mortar or your grinder, or break it up some more with your hands. But really sit with it once you've got it to the right consistency. You can also save whatever you've got left in a little baggie like this, so that way it makes it easier. But I'll go into more depth about that later. Right now, I just want to go ahead and make sure that everything is right. Take out the smaller pieces. It's easier if we use the smaller pieces, the more finely grounded up pieces. Kind of sit with it. Really, if you need to pause for a minute, if you need to pause me and just sit and really imbue all of that intention into the herbs, you can go ahead and do that too. Look at those beautiful little circles. So we're just going to go ahead and sprinkle our love magic goodness over these nicely waxy melted candles. And just jiggle it a little bit so that way you can kind of spread it out even. Look at that. Man, those are beautiful. And you'll notice that the lavender is still intact because we didn't squish it up too much. Now, you don't have to do this, but I like to seal the stuff on top so that way I don't really lose any of that goodness, the flowery goodness off the top. You can just yank a candle out of the little tin at the end. It'll come right out, and just take a little piece off. Again, with the infamous serial killer spoon, I would take the thinnest piece that you broke off and just hold it over the candle, over the fire. See, look at that. Another handy reason to have a candle burning while you're doing magic. You never know when you need something to burn or to melt. So just be a little patient here. The tea candles don't melt as fast as using a wax melt, but they work just the same and super perfect because you have them on hand already. As you can see, I got a little impatient waiting for the wax sliver to burn, but there was just enough to cover over this here. And going for my second candle, yay! If you can see there, I just hit it on accident and realized that it was still moving around, so I just decided to melt some more of that candle to put over it. Again, this is a totally optional step. You don't have to, but if you want to make sure that you've gotten all of those lovely dried ingredients to stick in your candle, a little insurance never hurt anybody. There we go. Beautiful. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to sit and meditate with these, you guys. Ooh, I would suggest just take a moment and breathe in all of these amazing smells right now. Look at these candles. Woohoo! I'm so excited. Please share your pictures with me if you're gonna do these, and share your herbs that you use if you use different ones. I literally cannot wait to hear from you guys. Now that they're done, I usually sit with them for just a minute to focus on exactly what it is that I'm asking for. Again, with these spell candles, it's kind of like cooking. You flavor every layer as you go. Just sit with it as much as you possibly can. And that's it. We're good and we're done. Wow, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you spending this time with me. Don't forget to subscribe down below. Bye!